Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about how apparently Mark Hamill and Hayden Christensen are reprising their roles as Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker as First Ghosts in the Rey movie. So let's give this a read, shall we? Star Wars fans have something new to get excited, or alternately extremely mad about. Mark Hamill and Hayden Christensen will appear as First Ghosts in the recently announced upcoming installment in the franchise. According to our trusted and proven sources, the two actors will reprise their roles as Luke and Anakin Skywalker, respectively, in the new Daisy Ridley-led film, despite having died in previous episodes. Of course, Star Wars being what it is, both Mark Hamill and Hayden Christensen's characters have already come back from death. So why not another time? We previously broke the news that Lucasfilm was bringing back Daisy Ridley's Rey for a new film some months ago, which was later confirmed by other sources. We have also reported that Kathleen Kennedy was said that the news film will take place about 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, with Rey attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order and apparently messing everything up. As such, it would make sense that Mark Hamill, who has some experience in failing in bringing back the Jedi, and Hayden Christensen, who has significant experience in another aspect of Jedi not being around, would appear in some capacity. While we do not know whether Mark Hamill and Hayden Christensen will be interacting in some capacity as First Ghosts in the new Star Wars movie. I mean, that's the only way, unless we do flashbacks. Like a flashback of Anakin doing Order 66, another flashback of that, and then a flashback of Luke finding out that he had lost love interest, and the mixture of losing a love interest and essentially to death, and losing his nephew to the dark side is why he went to Act 2, which honestly the whole love interest thing would make the combination of failing his nephew would actually make more sense. Why Luke was so hesitant and snappy at Rey in The Last Jedi than how we are to understand why Luke left to go in hiding in the first place. Was even Mark Hamill said something. Anyways, before I go into the long ass rant, let me actually continue. Although both actors have appeared multiple times in multiple Star Wars projects over the years, they have never actually been in a scene together. Return of the Jedi ex post facto inserted of Hayden Christensen doesn't really count, nor does having a voice cameo in the climax of The Rise of Skywalker. At the very least, the two Skywalkers might have a discussion about why the elder of the two Force Ghosts is decades younger than his own son. Most recently, Mark Hamill reprised the role of Luke Skywalker in a relatively disappointing Book of Boba, having first appeared via a combination of CGI archival footage and voice work in The Mandalorian. For his part, Hayden Christensen starred in the more critically well-received Obi-Wan Kenobi as both Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker. As a Disney Plus breakthrough series, The Mandalorian has been slowly losing both viewership and critical goodwill. It makes sense that Lucasfilm would look for a big new project to excite fans, with Mark Hamill being perhaps the most beloved figurehead of the Star Wars franchise, and Hayden Christensen prequel films in the process of being critically reclaimed. them both back is an understandable ploy. On the other hand, repeatedly bringing back deceased characters to pop in to give Daisy Ridley support can be perceived as diminishing the sacrifice of the heroic deaths, so Lucasfilm might want to tread this line carefully. We'll be happy to see Mark Hamill and Hayden Christensen back, but we don't want them to get trotted out every time ratings drop. That is true. Because, it makes sense. I mean, that's why, Freddie Prinze Jr. doesn't want to come back as, Kanan Jarrus, because he feels like any more, cameos would tarnish Kanan's sacrifice. And I feel like Luke, if they did bring like a Force Ghost back, whether it's Leia, Luke, or Anakin, logically, I can see them bring back Luke for one reason, because Carrie Fisher sadly passed away, and if she was still here, I probably would have said Leia, because Leia was more nurturing to her than Luke was in her time with being a Jedi trained Padawan. But the reason why I'm saying Luke, outside of Leia, Carrie Fisher sadly not being here, it's because Rey actually had time with Luke, right? Rey never had time with Anakin. So I feel like Rey would potentially be more comforted by someone that she knew, someone that was her teacher. And I'm not saying that Anakin couldn't have appeared to her a few times between the 15 years between Rise of Skywalker and this new Jedi Order movie, but logically for us fans, if I had to choose one, it would be Luke Skywalker to come in there and give her advice. But like this said, I don't want either Luke or Anakin to be in there just for every time ratings drop. That's a cheap cash grab. That is in a way disrespectful to both the actors and the characters and Daisy Ridley, because you're bringing these two big names, one ratings are dropping, not having faith that your lead can carry the film. Now, if the story calls for Luke, calls for Anakin to appear, then I'll be on board. But I don't want them to force both characters in, if that makes sense. Anywho, what do you beautiful people have to say? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later. And may the force be with us all.